Hey everybody, so it's August 11th. I'm going to do part 2 of this video to show where I am retiring to in Laos. This is the house that we purchased. Please watch the first one, which shows the outside and surrounding areas of the house, and this is going to be part 2. So the inside and kind of a little bit of view from the outside, from the inside. So this is the view from the porch. You can see we tried to make as much barrier as possible, natural barrier, so that our neighbors cannot see us sitting out here, just to feel a little more private. You can see that the tukul is a little bit of an eyesore. We have some silent that will come off when the rains stop, unless we can think of something else. But all these, so this is the patio furniture. This came from my wife's sister. We want to renew or buy something better, probably from Thailand. I can't find anything in Laos. So this is the porch area. We're only out here sometimes. I'm gonna get a big fan, aircon fan, when we come back, so we can sit out here and feel a little cool. Like one of those fans that blow water, like mist. So this is the front of the house. These doors are they're nice looking, but you can tell, I think you could probably fairly easy break into them. I'm thinking of replacing them if we can get a pretty good price. So here we're walking in right into the living room. So we keep this place pretty open and sparse of furniture. We have a sofa we bought when we moved in, and it's already worn out from 10 years. We bought this 9 years ago. The back of it is shredded. You can see some of the material at the bottom from the cats. But the cushioning's worn out on it. It's definitely time to replace it. We will replace this with the furniture we have in Bangkok, or that sofa set. Excited to have that here because it's a much nicer piece. Sometimes Da's niece or nephew sleep over here. They lay out a mat. This is their storage area. These are some blackout curtains. I think these are blackout curtains I had from in the other house I lived in. But these, there's no windows. Well, there's space for windows. It's just a screen and then the wooden shutter. There's no glass windows. And that's something I want to change when I come back. I want to put in windows all around the house. And that will probably be pretty costly, I'm sure. But I want light, you know. And we also want the option to have air passing through here rather than just needing the aircon. But we spend a lot of time in here. This will probably be, when we come back, I have pictures I want to put up. We will probably put pictures up on the wall. But this has pretty much been the exact same thing, same way we've lived since we moved here. Almost nothing different there. Over here is what I use for a little gym workout area when I come home. I have a TRX hooked to the wall. Let me turn on some lights here. I have a little bit of security system there. So that's a little old cheap padding that I bought last year. Or no, I bought when I first moved in. So I could work out there. Those are some Laos style cushion or bedroom or for sleeping. Some old pictures I had done when I lived in Africa. I brought them back with me. This is some shells decoration that we had we bought from Hua Hin when Da and I went on a vacation to short holiday to Hua Hin. This is my office. So yeah, 2 tables that I had from my previous house. It's very ad hoc, you know? So again, not really doing much until we come back to live more permanently. I did have pictures up, but everything kind of fell down. You need to be here to keep maintenance of it. So things will fall apart very quickly. So this, if we build the room outside above the parking space, this will become a bedroom. And this is so we could have someone come and stay with us, even God's family, to have a bedroom. Because right now we don't have a spare bedroom. So we're planning to build an extra room. This is our dining room table. You can see the chairs. This is what we bought this when we first got here. Cats shredded everything. Some pictures from Japan, some Egypt. That leads to the bathroom. This is our main bedroom. Again, no windows, just shutters and messy curtains. Plan to change that. Again, we're only here for 2 weeks, so we're kind of living out of suitcases. Speaking of suitcases, very old suitcases there. I plan to clean out my closet, get rid of a lot of stuff when we come back, and have only what I need. So the bed is actually very comfortable. We bought that in Souvani. It's a home, it's like a Home Depot for home supplies, like an IKEA or something. So that's the master bedroom. I wish this is our bathroom. That's the master bedroom. This is the bathroom. This is something I would like to redo. It's not urgent because this is functional. It's a wet bathroom. When I showed my mother it, she was like, ugh, wet feet. She's very picky. But this was another thing that the guy we bought it from just really didn't do very smart. Every bathroom you go to, you see the shower on the end and then the toilet in the middle. Because otherwise now when you take a shower, everything is wet. The toilet and everything. So the shower should have been over there. So I talked to the engineer. This might, depending on what it costs, I'm okay with it, it's functional. But I would like it to be more comfortable. I think we definitely need to change the toilet. The seat's broken. And I'm gonna ask him what it would take. He said it's possible, we just need to take out the tiles, which is fine because I would like to replace these tiles. It's just, they're old and they're ugly pink. Again, I can live like this, but if it doesn't cost much to make it nicer, then I'll do it. And then we'll just switch. He said we can change the piping for the shower and for the toilet. So that will probably be a plan for after we renovate outside. And then I'm thinking of taking that door off and then just making this one big room with the bathroom. So much bigger space. It's just kind of a wasted space there, especially with the door. Not very user-friendly. Again, it's functional. So this door leads into the bathroom or to the kitchen. So this gives you an angle of the roof or of the living room, the bedroom, and then the bathroom to my left, and then the office to my right. The roof is a thin, like plywood or cardboard. So one of the issues we have is it gets very hot here. It's not very well insulated. So you turn on the air and it doesn't stay cold, especially when it's wicked hot out. So we will go into the kitchen here. My wife is working, as usual. So this is a view from the kitchen. There we go. View from the kitchen. There are steps that go down. So my theory is when the guy that built this house, I think he did it in pieces. And then I think there wasn't a very good plan when he built it. So it's like it's in pieces and it was kind of just stuck together. really kind of, I mean, it works. It just, you can tell he wasn't very thoughtful. And then when we look outside on the roof, you can see sections were added as an afterthought. And I think this was one of them. I think this was probably a room that was added as an afterthought to add as a kitchen. So this is 3 steps down into the kitchen. You can see that goes up. And then we have 2 refrigerators here. One is kind of like the Farang furniture, or refrigerator. The other one's the Laos refrigerator. My wife insisted that we buy 2 of them when I got here, and it ends up being very useful because we buy a lot of fresh food, and and that can take up a lot of space. Because they buy daily. They buy fresh food daily, vegetables, like every day, every 2 days. It's just what they do. So we have a cabinet we inherited from what we bought with the house. The guy tacked on a little bit of money for us to add to the house. So the house is, I think it's 110 square meters, or 360 square feet. I think that was the ratio. I'll have to look again, maybe add on to the end of it. So we have some other cupboards that we bought on our own when we moved in. We needed more cupboards. Microwave is brand new. This water heater is brand new. Here you can see the door, windows, screen coming off. Very old. This is original from the house. This is stuff I want to replace with sliding windows if possible. I'm sure that's going to be very expensive, but I think it would be worth it to have that more open, more light, and then just easier access to pass things through because they put things outside to clean and store. So this is the kitchen. We did redo the kitchen countertop when we moved in because it was very old and ugly and it just overused. So I wanted a good quality, and we put in a pretty good quality countertop, but the guy he wasn't a good finisher. He did a good job to create this 3-sectional countertop with brick and block, but the finishing part was where he screwed up. It was all jaggy. He didn't have the tools to really cut the tile properly, so it was jagged. So because I wanted a countertop like you just wipe off like this. So we ended up having to put this trim on. It's not what I wanted. But you can tell this really gets used heavily. One of the heaviest used parts of the whole house. And it might be time to replace that again. I don't know. A little bit at a time. The most important things first is, again, it's a functional house. It's not aesthetically beautiful. There are places where it is nice, but it's functional. The kitchen has become very Laos style with stuff just kind of hung everywhere. It's functional. I would like to change this window, these block windows, especially also in the bathroom. I would like to change them out for more something you can see out of. I don't understand the point of those. Again, I think it was just a cheap way to put some window there. This needs painted again. We'll probably paint this when we come back. The roof, this is where we had a leak, and now it seems like we had that repaired a couple weeks ago when we first moved in. A small repair, and then it just started leaking again this year, and we just had it repaired. So for about $100, replace some tiles. So I think, we'll probably have to repair this or repaint it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what would be involved there, but it might be worth just replacing it with something better. The tile, I guess, is okay. I don't know. It's maybe old-fashioned. Again, 10 years old. There's no holes. There's nothing. Maybe it would just need a good cleaning. That would probably be only when we have time and if it looks like having extra money. The cabinets. This is a stove. This is an oven, I mean. These are cabinets we had installed when we moved in. We had this shelving, handmade, very cheaply. Again, we want to paint it, make it look a little nicer. And then this is you can see the baby stuff. This is going into the spare bedroom. Not a spare bedroom, but this is where the sister lives with the baby. Very Laos style. There's another pair of window. There's another window there, 2 sets that we might put windows in. Yeah, they just just really stuffed with stuff. So now with the baby, you've got more stuff in there. So that's where they live. This would have been like, this is where she lives basically while living. It's kind of like a live-in maid in a way, but it's good as someone we trust 150%. And this is another angle of the kitchen going outside. Now we're coming over here. This is the door that goes outside. It's pretty flimsy. We definitely need to change this if we want to make it a little secure. And now we come out to the outside where there's the washing machine, the kitchen cleaning area outside. And I think that's about it. So that's a summary of the inside of the house. What do you think of that? I would have liked, it would have been nice if we could have done an extra room in this area, but I really like the fact that we have this open space. So if we do have visitors, we do have some type of party, we don't feel like so squished, so packed in here. I really like the open space. And we wouldn't have visitors that often. We have that spare bedroom if we need it. And then the idea would be to build another room on legs above the parking spot out here. So that will probably likely become my office, or could also be a spare bedroom. So that's it. This will be our retirement house when we come back for at least I think for a couple of years, and unless something significantly changes financially or work-wise. But so thanks for joining me. This will be our retirement, and let me know what you think. Do you have any ideas? Do you live anywhere in Laos or in Asia? Do you think the cost of this? I'm pretty sure we could probably at least get 110 for this. We paid 95, and maybe even more. But we want to make this nicer so we can at least have something to when we first move in here and just enjoy the place. The neighborhood is super quiet. We have a gym that's 15-minute walk from here, probably 10-15 minutes if you drive because of the traffic. Very easy, very safe, except for you walk out to the street. I'm not going to show the street, but it's tight. When there's an event and people block the roads, it can be a little busy, and you have to watch yourself because people sometimes they can fly on that road. So yeah, this is it. This is a retirement home, and this is our place. This is the home we will retire into initially. So let me know what you think. Thanks for joining me. This is Choice of Winding Down Chronicles of an Expat going into early retirement. I'm not retired yet, but I'm getting there. This is 19 weeks remaining, and yeah, I wanted to give a little story about why. One of the reasons I bought this house. I did tell you in the other. I did tell you in the chronicle of when we look on the outside. But I remember when I was in Zanzibar, I was on a break. I was working in Kenya, and I was in Zanzibar working on doing my master dive master certification. And I was talking to a guy who told me he was also a dive master. He was just there on holiday. I think he was British. But he had told me, he was telling me he just bought a house in Bosnia or something. Some obscure country that you don't hear of. And I'm like, why did you buy something there? He said it was cheap, and that's where he plans to live. You know, it's his getaway. And I'm thinking, you know, at the time, this was like 15 years, 20 years ago, and at the time I'm thinking that's a really neat idea. Just buy something somewhere in a country, an easy country to live that you can live in and retire to. It's your home base. But he said he very cheap. He says the winters are brutal, but he would just go back. That's where he went to retire. I don't remember if he had any family or not. But that's kind of, I never forgot that. Sitting on the beach with him and after a dive session and just talking about what he did and what I did as far as work-wise. And he had nipple rings. He showed me, and he also said he had a piercing on his shaft. I took his word for it. He didn't need to prove that to me. I'm like, why would you have that there? Why would you have a piercing there? But his piercings on his nipples, I think he was a bit of an odd character. But he said he would go back to this home, and that's where he would stay over the winter or something, you know, just very simple living. And I always thought, that's what I would want to do sometime. But, you know, most countries you go to, you have to be a citizen. And you cannot just go property like you can in the U.S. I mean, it's pretty easy in the U.S. There is a process, but you don't have to be a citizen to buy property here. So you need to buy some land. If you're going to buy land or property, you need to put it into the name of a citizen. You know, so my wife owns all of this is in my wife's name. The car, the motorcycle, the house, and so it's risky. You know, so when I bought this, you know, I wasn't married yet. It was scary because I was basically handing over to her 90% of my savings, and I cashed everything in, all my investments. I cashed it in to buy this place and put it in her name. You know, and I've heard of horror stories of women have taken everything, you know, and the guy ends up with nothing. You know, he can't do anything about it. You know, the name, the property's in the name, and then especially even if you're married, it wouldn't matter. You would have to put property in the person's name. So I was very blessed to have someone that it worked out, and pretty happy where we are. I wish it was more property, more green, but it's not. So anyway, take care everybody. God bless, and see you, and then take it slow.